Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Given the crazy cost of groceries these days, I thought I would put out a budget meal video. So I've just got some silver beet here, some bacon I got from the freezer, and 2 eggs. The bacon I purchased from Costco quite a while ago, so I've just defrosted that, and the silver beet, I've just separated the stalks from the stems. So I start off by sauteing the stalks first in a bit of olive oil, then I add in the leaves and the bacon. The eggs, I've just lightly seasoned it with a bit of salt and pepper, and then I just pour that on top of my sauteed veggies and bacon mix, and then I also add in a bit of cheese on top and put the lid on just so the cheese melts, and then I've added some cherry tomatoes on the side as well. It would probably be nicer if I roasted the cherry tomatoes in my air fryer, but I was lazy, so I just added it on like that. Next meal, I've got some mushrooms, so I've just started to slice that up. I think this one is also another breakfast meal from memory. I toss in my mushrooms, no oil at this point. I kind of just let it cook in its own juices because the mushrooms release a lot of water, and I find that if I add anything else to it, it kind of makes the mushrooms soggy. So yeah, I make the mushrooms, cook a cheesy omelette on the side, and serve it as is. A pretty filling breakfast for me. Next meal was lunch. I purchased these ramen noodles from my local Asian grocer. It's a spicy chicken carbonara noodle, absolutely delicious, but super spicy. I serve it on top of some lettuce cups and a side of cherry tomatoes. It's kind of like a noodle wrap in lettuce. Next meal, I've got some chicken skewers that I got on sale for 83 cents each. So I got them at the deli at Coles, then I've just tossed them in the air fryer so they cook, and then I've got a tomato and jalapeno salad on the side, which I've lightly seasoned with a bit of salt and lemon juice. Next meal, I've got some carrots, onions, potatoes, frozen green peas, Japanese golden curry paste, which I grabbed from my stockpile pantry. I start by boiling the carrots and potatoes first because they take the longest to cook. Then add in the onions, peas, and the curry paste. I cook it all in the same water that I boiled the veggies in as well. So that is the finished product. You can serve this on top of some noodles or with a serve of white rice on the side, but because I'm cutting carbs, I just had it as is. Next meal, I've got some onions, carrots, frozen green beans, mushrooms, one chicken breast, and that coconut curry sauce I got from Coles on sale for $1.90. Check out my grocery haul if you want to see what else I bought in that shop as well. So I start off by cooking the carrots and the onions, then I add in the protein and the mushrooms and the curry sauce as well. This can be served on top of white rice or noodles again, but I had it on its own because I'm trying to cut carbs. Well, not completely cut carbs, but reduce my consumption, and because I added a lot of veggies, it's quite filling. I had a pouch of Greek yogurt in the fridge that was 1 day overdue, so I had to eat that. And then I also got given these Kalamata olives as part of a gift. Well, I got a Christmas hamper and these olives were in the hamper, so I snacked on those. And then the next meal I'm making, I've got some chopped tomatoes, chopped mushroom, the pho Asian stock cubes you can get from your local Asian grocer. And then I've also made a cornstarch slurry. So it's literally cornstarch with some water. Then I'm boiling all my veggies in my soup, and then I also add in the cornstarch slurry close to the end just to help thicken my soup up. So as you can see, it's quite thick. If you want it thicker, you just got to add more of the cornstarch slurry. This is very similar to the previous clip, but this time I added tofu in as well. You can add in whatever you have on hand essentially. The next frugal meal, I've got some chicken noodle soup from Coles. I've got some carrots and some cauliflower, and I just toss it all together in the same pot to make a chicken noodle soup with carrots and cauliflower. I like to make these soups to try and use up whatever leftover ingredients I have in the fridge at the end of the week because I don't like throwing food out. But this is what the finished product looks like. Not exactly fancy, but super tasty, and I thought it was quite healthy. Another frugal meal, in my opinion, is avocado tomato on toast, given the price of avocados at the moment are only $1, and it's a healthy fat and it keeps you full for long. In the next clip, I've got some Shin ramen seasoning just a soup mix, some carrots, some potatoes, and some mushrooms. Sometimes if I'm using the noodles for a separate dish, I just keep the flavorings in the fridge to use for other things like this, for example. So I've basically just cooked shin ramen soup with mushrooms, carrots, and potatoes. And I don't think I had any carbs in this meal as well. Well, actually, I've got potatoes, but I don't have processed carbs in this meal. Next meal, I've got some sliced onions, chopped garlic, or grated garlic, sorry. I bought this little grater marked down for $3 quite a while ago. Some mushrooms and frozen udon noodles I got from my freezer. I would say this is one of my favorite frugal meals probably in this video. So I start off by cooking the mushrooms down. Mushrooms always look like a lot when you just put them in, and once you cook them they wilt down to barely anything at all, very similar to spinach. So as you can see, that's cooking down. I haven't added any water or oil, that's just the juices coming out from the mushrooms. Towards the end I do add in a little nub of butter just to add flavor and to help scrape off all of the seasonings in the pot down there. And then I think I added in a splash of milk off camera, and then I've pre-boiled the noodles separately in a different pot, tossed the noodles in and mix it all together, and that's how I get this creamy mushroom noodle dish. I didn't add any cream at all, it was just a little splash of milk, and I think the starch from the noodles helps make the meal nice and creamy. So if you're vegan, you can replace the milk with some soy milk maybe, or oat milk. I think almond milk will be a little bit too strong for the sauce, but you can give oat milk a try with this meal. The next frugal meal, I've got some white wraps, some chopped carrots and chopped onions, and then I grabbed a few items from my stockpile pantry, for example the refried beans, the smoked paprika, and the cheese spread. So I needed to use that up because I think the cheese spread was past the best before date by I think a few days. I don't like to throw food away, so I'm gonna use it up. So I start by cooking the onions and carrots down with a bit of salt and smoked paprika. You can add in whatever seasonings you like. If you prefer Moroccan spice, then add that, but I prefer smoked paprika in this scenario. So I've just smeared my refried beans on my wrap, added in my veggie mix, added in my cheese spread, folded it, and then I chucked it in the air fryer to heat up so the cheese gets melty and nice and the wrap gets nice and crispy. I must admit this meal was very messy to eat, but it was super delicious. You can even serve it with some guac or sour cream on the side if you like. I didn't have that on hand, and because it is a frugal video, I didn't want to go and buy extra things if I didn't absolutely need it. So that's what it looks like once I've heated it up in the air fryer. As you can see, it's super messy, but it was really nice and tasty. Next meal is every college or university student's meal, fried eggs on rice. So this is an omelette I've made with some spicy jalapenos served on rice. Also, this is also another frugal meal that I love, some Campbell's chunky beef veg soup with some toasted bread lathered in butter. Dipping that in and eating it on a cold rainy day is the best.